What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Max Got the Tracks and we're currently doing the PUFFCAPS to Masters challenge. So as you can see up on my screen in real time, I'm actually like Diamond 1 already. I know at the last episode I went from like Plat 4 to Plat 3, but this has been going way faster than I expected. Over 57 matches, I have like a 73% win rate. It makes me the best PUFFCAP player on the server. So that's the reason you're watching me. Just if y'all didn't know, I'm really good at PUFFCAPS. That's kind of my forte. Yeah, so I'm gonna take you through a couple of the games that I played on stream. Unfortunately, this is going just like way faster than I expected, so I don't really have as much content for you as I thought I would because it went so fast. But I'm just gonna be live reacting to my stream, and then y'all can watch with me, and I will walk you through my plays, and we'll just enjoy the games. Today I have for you are the ones that got me from Plat to Diamond, and then the next episode will be Diamond 4, Diamond 3, Diamond 2, D1, and then hopefully Masters, which I will be streaming in real time today, which is Friday. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoy these games, and let's get right into it. So here I have them. Right?
Hold on.
Yeah. Okay, let me mute this.
I know you're never gonna believe.
Cool. I'll make myself slightly larger to account for my largeness on my stream. Okay, we'll skip through this. Just need to get into the game here. Yeah, okay, so you can see we're Plat 1 in this game, and then I'll be walking you through all the games that got me from Plat 1 to Diamond. So yeah. Here you see we're playing against Ama on a Evelyn Viego deck. So control decks, obviously PUFFCAPS are pretty good against them because that's kind of our bread and butter. We just want to take as much time, fill their deck with PUFFCAPS, and then burn them down. Wait, this actually might be the final game that gets us into Diamond. I think it actually is. So I guess we're gonna go from Plat to Diamond today, and I can show y'all my Runeterra AR on my Smurf just so y'all see that those 57 games were all legitimate, and PUFFCAPS was the only deck that I played from Plat to Diamond. Yeah, on turn 1 we just get the poison dart, so there's not really much to do for us. Round 2, yeah, we pass it out, have an insider knowledge, cool. They pass back, beautiful. I'm used to like all my footage being in double time, so this being a bit slower, I'm like feeling a little anxious. So I'm like, wait Max, just relax, just enjoy this PUFFCAP game. We dropped CAITLYN on 3. Yeah, we're feeling good. They drop a camera rubber soldier, however the hell you pronounce that card. Block with their mist. I'm like, cool, get some traps into the deck. I don't have any peddlers, which is what I was mulliganing for, or TEEMOs, so it's like a very awkward game for me so far. But you know, we're rolling with it. They black spear me and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have killed the mist, but you know, I couldn't predict that. Because CAITLYN is the only thing I have going for me at the moment, I feel fine to just stress defense her until we can draw more you know, bodies for the board, things to peddle some PUFFCAPS, and we do. So we do get that peddler right there, and it's really good for us. Before turn 4 and 5, like, this deck isn't particularly threatening to me. Obviously don't want to block with CAITLYN there because we're just trying to protect our health, and if they're down to pass, I'm probably down to pass as well. So you see we take the pass there, cool. They drop a domination, and I'm like, okay, it's probably fine for me to drop my peddler and use the poison dart now. He'll have peddled at least like the main thing to keep in mind with peddler is like you need to get some value off of him. You need to really like use at least like three or four spells to justify playing him down on the board before he dies. And there they hate spike my CAITLYN. I'm like, that's a little rough, you know, a little awkward, but it's okay. Next turn we top deck an Ava Achiever. You can see in the bottom there. I have an insider knowledge. I have a Karina, so that's cool. They do drop Evelyn, which is slightly scary, but I decided I'm just gonna insider knowledge, try to find some blockers, try to find some you know, just more cards to help me not die. And it's really awkward here, again, like I said, because I have 3 of my 6 drops in my hand, which is, you know, a problem with PUFFCAPS sometimes, and we're drawing them into more cards. So we get 2 thermo beams there, which is like honestly fine. The flash bomb doesn't hit the ideal target, but it's not a big deal. It does open us up to thermo beam the rest of that Camera Soldier's health, so we get to take that out without a problem, and we're thinking that we could use the next thermo to probably kill Evelyn, which is nice, and just slow their whole game plan down, assuming they don't open attack, which they really are unlikely to do. And we see the flash bomb actually deal 1 point of damage to Evelyn, which is pretty ideal for me because we get to just thermal beam it here, which is, I believe, is what you're gonna see. Alternatively, I'm like, I could drop Ava and we could just start peddling more puff caps. So I actually slam her because I realized that I'm safe enough at this current health to get a little greedy and just start trying to look for a win condition. So they swing there, and I'm actually kind of glad they didn't swing with the 2-7 as well, because I didn't have a great answer for that, because I definitely don't want to lose my peddler or Ava at this point. So they get more puff caps into the deck, and I'm chilling. We're feeling good. I'm gonna try to slam an aloof traveler probably to deal with their Viego and their atrocities, because those are cards that can really hurt me. But yeah, as you see, we don't really have that many puff caps in their deck at the moment, so I don't want to slam Karina quite yet, I don't think. But maybe I do end up going for it. Yeah, I guess I do end up volatile blooming there. With the Ava, it's pretty decent. We have 18 puff caps, so on average I think we're doing like 6 or 7 damage, or 6 or 8 damage on this Ava, and we do hit the 8, so we're pretty fortunate on that one. Put him down to 12. Unfortunately, a lot of this damage is going to get healed back, which is something I didn't really consider how strong that 2-7 was in protecting their Nexus health. So I think I was maybe a little presumptuous with the Karina, but it was also getting to the point in that game where I'd been so greedy that I kind of just have to continue down that line, because if I stop being greedy at this point, then I try to double back and get more defensive, we end up just losing the game because we don't have a win con and we're to the point where we can't properly defend ourselves. So there's really no point in trying to, like, once we played that Ava on the turn previous, there's no point in going back and being like, all right, now is the time to try to double back and play defense, because they're slamming a 7-7 Viego in our face along with the missed calls, along with whatever they play this turn, and it's to the point where, like, if I don't try to take this win now, I'm probably not going to get it. So yeah, playing that Ava Achiever actually ended up being a very defining play for me, which is something I did not expect. There you see I'm thinking about dropping the Aloof Traveler, and then this turn I'm gonna realize what I just explained to y'all, that we are kind of too far gone and we kind of just have to risk it and go in with the Karina if we want any chance of winning. So yeah, you see there I start thinking and talking to chat being like, I think Karina Insider Knowledge is like my only line to try to win the game. And they dropped the Hydrovine, heal back up to 16. So I know this Karina is gonna do at least 8 damage, and I just have to hope that off the Insider Knowledge I'm able to do the final amount that I will need to win the game. So here you'll see the Volatile Bloom, and this is where our opponent makes a huge confusing misplay. So they go with this Kalista spell, the Black Spear, and they target the Puffcap Peddler instead of the Ava Achiever. I don't know if they just don't know what the card does, but this Insider Knowledge is going to be able to hopefully do the rest of the damage, and y'all will see here we get 8 off of this, and off the Karina we get another 8. So we actually get a perfect lethal there, hit the Shenimo, and I believe that gets us into diamonds. So pretty good progress on day 2 of our PUFFCAPS to Master series. I'm pretty happy with how that climb went. Here, let me briefly go over the games that happened previously. If we go to my Smurf account, we can look at my match history. Oh, sorry, wait. Yeah, so go to Max Got the Smurf. So that PUFFCAP game was against the Viego. I believe, yeah, it was right here. You can see I played against Evelyn Viego. That was, yeah, before this, I had a pretty good win rate. I think the games y'all watched must have been the ones against the Plunder and the Field of Rush, if you saw the first episode, which will be in the description or on the playlist if you found it from there. Yeah, and then we went on a really hot streak, beat a bunch of decks, beat some Plunders, Pirates, more Viegos, lost to a Plunder, beat a Scout, and a really weird Shen deck by TSM Swag Kid. I was like, is that a real person in TSM? We lost to this Gwen deck, because Gwen just destroys us. And then we beat 5 games in a row, beating a Nasus Kindred, a Shyvana a Shyvana Katarina, which was super weird, and then a TF is a Trundle Asol, and finally that game that we just watched against Amma, which got us into Diamond. So yeah, here we're gonna continue watching. I'll play some of these games and show you how I got to Diamond 1 as well. I mean Diamond 3, and then that will be where this episode will end. So let me skip forward while Twitch loads. Sorry about this, guys. I probably should have watched this first. Oh yeah, I'm watching some ad for Omega Strikers. I take a minute. Okay, where are we? Until I get back into gameplay. Come on, Max. Yeah, so here I'm in Diamond 4, and if y'all want to watch this, all the VODs are on my channel as well. It's just that some of them are muted because I use copyright music, so I apologize for that. Little streamception here. So yeah, we're playing against Timelines against Necrodancer, which was the game y'all saw. Unfortunately, y'all already know the result because I actually just showed it to you, but just pretend you didn't see that. We're gonna be playing here against Timelines. It is a deck that has like a pretty decent clock, so like they're actually pretty threatening to us with their Trundle, with their Vi. Like those are very strong overwhelm units that PuffCap can't chump block, and like chump blocking is a lot of our defense, especially towards the late game. So it's one where we have to be pretty proactive, which is why you see me swinging in with TEEMO pretty early there. And that is one thing about PuffCaps, like having knowledge about what your opponent's goals are is super important, which is why novice players, it's definitely more of an intermediate, so like pro like strategy. Like you have to know a lot about what your opponent is doing, unfortunately, to pilot the deck competently, because you really have to play around. Like it doesn't have enough power to effectively like beat decks and opponents that are like at the same level. So you're having to do a lot of outplays and a lot of counterplay, and just be very careful with how you spend your mana. So it's not one that has a lot of wiggle room. And you see I dropped CAITLYN there, which is a bit of a questionable play. You know, I could have dropped a Peddler considering they don't have that much removal in this deck between the Get Exciteds and Mystic Shots, but I think the CAITLYN makes more sense here to just get aggressive, and they dropped the Piltover Castaway and just Mystic Shot my TEEMO, so I'm cool with that. Thankfully, they haven't played their concurrent timelines yet, so it's not very threatening to me at the moment. You see there also that I have my Great Peddler and Chump of Wumps combo, so we're pretty happy to be just chilling with our rats, you know, hanging out. And this Castaway swings in, and I'm like, I could Mystic Shot, I could block, or I could just ignore it because I have Quick Attack on my stuff. But I decide to block with CAITLYN, that way it opens up my Chump Wump to swing in with its higher attack, which feels really good to me, because the 4-1 would have just blocked that outright. But instead we get like a decent trade with the Kindly Tavern Keeper, which heals their Nexus a bit, which is a little frustrating, but at the end of the day, not a big deal. So next turn we're just gonna drop our PuffCap Peddler, I believe, and swing in. Chat is talking to me, talking about, do you know LOR champs? I'm like, of course I know LOR champs, totally. You see they get a Flash Bomb that doesn't do anything for me, and I have the Mushroom Clouds, which feel really good, and they finally draw their concurrent timeline, so I'm like, dang, that's cool. I decided I want to play those 2 PuffCaps and then pass off my turn while they play the concurrent timelines, and then I'm gonna use my Poison Dart on their face to try to like encourage them to play more mana, so that way my TEEMO might get in here, because they do play that removal for TEEMO between the Mystic Shots and the Get Excited that I already described, but instead they just do a combat cook, so they do not have the counterplay, and I'm like, beautiful, as long as they don't get elusive off this timelines, we are good to go. So I dropped the TEEMO down, and you can see I've peddled 27 PuffCaps already. I'm looking at how beautiful level TEEMO looks, because, you know, it really does, let's be honest. He's a cutie patootie. Drop down our TEEMO, you know, I like the classic sperm level up. It's so ugly, man, but it's so nostalgic and good to me. And then you see I'm gonna swing it with TEEMO, put them up to 50 PuffCaps, and we are chilling. At this point, I believe I probably have a very strong chance of winning the game. I just needed something like a Karina or an Ava Achiever and an Insider Knowledge, and they draw 3 PuffCaps right there, so a little higher than average. Very fortunate for us. They drop a second combat cook, and at this point I'm thinking I should probably try to aloof Travelers to clear out their Vi and Trundle, which I don't really want to deal with. But instead I start with Conchologist just so I have a chump blocker and a captive Greyback. So I'm like, that's a little threatening to have with the Scout. But yeah, I just decided to Thermo Beam it immediately because they're to the point where, oh no, I do just chump block with the Conchologist actually. Somebody follows me on Twitch, shout out to that person, D Peralta. And then I get a Face Sprout to dig for even more chump blockers. They swing in with the, what's that card called? The Overgrown? No, I don't know what it's called. Something, that card isn't very popular. But anyways, we block with the Peddler here. Could have got really bad actually if they Mystic Shot. That would have been a big punish, but thankfully they didn't. And I guess I do decide to just draw my Aloof and use him as a chump blocker as well. You see I'm thinking really hard. How many Puffcaps do they have in the deck? Is this worth it now? Should I Thermo Beam? Should I just Face Sprout and try to find a chump blocker with that? I don't actually remember what I do. Okay, yeah, so I do get a Face Sprout, and I see a Living Library, which is an elusive attacker, and has synergy with my trap strategy already. So I'm really happy to see that. That works out perfectly. And that ends up being a really great hit from the Conchologist. You know, we think we're playing a 2-drop and just getting a removal spell, but instead we get a 5 attack elusive. And yeah, that's just the power of Bandle City. You know, not much else to say about that. And we Mystic Shot their face because it's to the point where, like, bro, we have 53 Puffcaps in the deck. We're probably dealing another 7 between the TEEMO and the Living Library on our next swing. So there's really, like, no way we don't win. And also that card they got off Timelines forces them to draw a card when it levels, which is really silly. And they draw an extra 6 right there. So yeah, we're pretty much to the point where, like, oh, we just win the game. And I was trying to figure out why they were forced to draw a card. But yeah, they just concede while I try to do that, as you know, the game is effectively over anyways. So yeah, that was a really good win. You can see I'm up to Diamond 4, 27 LP. And I'll do one final game for y'all before I cut this episode off. Let's see what we'll be facing. Oh no, I end stream there? Oh. Okay, let me switch to my next VOD. Sorry about this, guys. Day 2, day 1. Okay, so yeah, we start day 2 at Diamond 4. Okay. I don't know what's happening. I'm looking like a maniac on stream. Where are the Puffcaps? Sorry, I played some other games before we got there. Oh lord. Okay, this is where it starts. Beautiful. You can see I have my little doggy in my cam. That's why you should come to my stream, guys. If you want to see a beautiful little doggy, you can come through. And I guess there's some glitching on my stream because it looks kind of ugly here, but I think that gets resolved shortly. So yeah, you see I mulligan Ava and we're playing against an Aphelios Diana deck. Very cool. They mulligan 2 cards. Yeah, we top deck a Purple Berry Shake and they top deck a Lunari Duskringer, bro. Hopefully, I'm gonna skip ahead and see if this glitchiness clears up anytime soon. Because this is unwatchable. I can't believe people in my stream weren't complaining more. Mystic Shot. Okay, yeah, so we kill the Aphelios with a Puffcap. What is that? The Trap. We play 2 of those cards. It's really good. Whenever they draw a Trap, it deals 3 damage. They crescendo me. This game is pretty uneventful, to be honest. So we're just playing against a weird Aphelios rogue deck, so we can skip through this. I show the chat how good I am at Puffcap gaming, and then we enter our second game here, which is against, okay, finally, sorry about that, guys, better quality. This is actually watchable. We're playing against a, you can see, what are we playing against here? It's a Kaisa deck. You can see I have my doggy in the top left corner of my stream. Yeah, it's just mono Kaisa. So I believe in the mulligan here, we're going to want to keep just TEEMO and CAITLYN because we're attacking on odds. And I consider keeping the pokey stick for their birds, the scout bird and the fleet feather if they play that, but I decided not to. We get a chump wump, which is really solid, and we can definitely slam TEEMO on one and just try to farm some value out of him, especially against a deck like Kaisa, which is super aggressive and has some rallies. It's going to be like close to one of our worst matchups, so we definitely want to be a little bit more greedy and try to find the win earlier, which is why we play the TEEMO. So you can see they're stalling me out. They drop a 1-drop and I just swing it with TEEMO, get those 5 puff caps. Beautiful. We've got a peddler, we've got the chump wump, so we're feeling fine. They drop a Belvethi Elder, put their whole Belvethi into it. I look at this card because I think it's really funny. I just drop that 4 damage, no big deal. Next turn I'm definitely just slamming CAITLYN because they have a bunch of 1 health units, so her flash bombs can go absolutely crazy. You see I slam her. I'm feeling pretty good about this game so far. We've only taken 4. They don't have any challenger units at the moment, so not a big deal from my end. They only have like the spell shield and the lurk, so that's not bad either. In terms of their evolve process, or progress rather, and yeah, so we're chilling. They're playing pretty slow. Let's skip forward. They drop the Duran Sculptor. I swing in. They don't have a block for TEEMO, which is really nice, but they are going pretty wide with the Sculptor, and also it's annoying that they have Tough on their Belvethi because that way it can't get hit by the flash bombs. But I'm a sniper and I killed the lurk unit, which you see I do a little jinxie mode just because I'm feeling spicy. I'm feeling a little silly. Definitely this turn I'm just chump wumping and setting up for a huge TEEMO on the next swing, and they drop a combat cook, which is some new technology for the Kaisa deck, but I think that's pretty cute. And they get a equipment that doesn't actually help towards evolve, so I'm pretty happy about that. This turn I'm definitely just slamming the chump wump, and I think I should take all the blocks here other than like the TEEMO obviously, but they just swing in with the combat cook, so I feel great about that. We block with the chump wump and it sets us up to be pretty much where we want to be on the board. We're threatening the TEEMO and like they have to deal with TEEMO, so the game is very much like in our control because they're playing our game. And you see that's the flash bomb trap goes to the Belvethi, which isn't particularly good. We drop down our peddler to use with the mushrooms and a cataclysm now, so I'm like, okay, I'm fine with the cataclysm now because you see I have that second TEEMO that's disguised as a mushroom cloud. So here I make a little bit of a misplay because I should peddle the puffcaps now so that way they take a damage on their Belvethi, but I do not because I'm not really thinking. I'm just thinking, okay, I just want to use these puffcaps and then drop TEEMO and we should be chill. TEEMO number 2. But if I would have used the puffcaps prematurely, leveled TEEMO, it would have actually died to the second cataclysm. But at the end of the day, I didn't expect them to have the cataclysm, so I wasn't really considering it. But regardless, that was a good play beforehand because I would have gotten to kill the Belvethi with CAITLYN even if they had the sharp sight, right? No. It was just good form to do an extra damage to the Belvethi when I could have, because I knew I was playing the mushroom clouds anyways, and there was really no reason not to. So yeah, you see their double challenge of the TEEMOs is quite sad for me, but I'm just gonna swing in with CAITLYN this turn and call it a day. And I'm feeling fine about this game. I have a really good late game between my Ava Achiever and my Karina and my second chump wump, but it's still looking a little sketchy if they can get Kaisa down and use some rallies. And you see there another flash bomb that is not going to hit, and I draw a second peddler, which is very, very tempting to play down, but instead I think I just start with chump wump because that's the guy that's actually going to get me the spells I need to use peddler with. And they drop a void blaster, which is just a 4 attack unit, which literally gets blocked by my chump wump, so I'm like, that's fine. Really not a big deal from my end. I slam second peddler, I believe, because it's too strong not to use with the poison puff caps, and CAITLYN levels there, which feels really, really good. I'm considering taking an aggressive line with Karina where I just slam her now and try to get as big a CAITLYN as possible, but instead decide to slow roll it and just open attack. That way they can't develop another unit because they're really close to evolving at this point, and I didn't want that to punish me. I already know they don't have sharp sights to used as combat tricks here. So all the damage that I'm pushing, this 8 damage, is stuff that has to be blocked because they have 24 puff caps in their deck already. But thankfully for them, they do have a chain vest, which is actually very punishing, along with the concerted strike. So they dedicate their whole turn to dealing with this open attack, which is fine with me, to be honest. It's really not the end of the world. I have a second CAITLYN, so we're very champion rich, which you can see the weakness of playing just one champion decks like mono Kai'Sa, where if you don't have your champion, the rest of your like supporting cast can feel lackluster at times. And you see I can also drop the second CAITLYN there and punish them super hard for reaching on that one, along with my Ava Achiever the following turn, because I know they're probably not going to have a second concerted strike or a way to deal with it, considering they've already used all those resources on my one drop TEEMOs. But you know, that's kind of just the trap that this deck puts you in. You can deal with the TEEMOs, you can deal with the puffcap peddlers. Okay, now try to deal with the Ava Achiever and deal with the CAITLYNs. And if I distract you enough with those things, I can find myself a win. Where if you just focus on your own strategy, a lot of the times you will beat me, but because I'm able to fake threaten you with these cards that seem like they're stronger than they are, or if you let them like sit there, they will have a lasting impact and make you regret them, you're gonna end up losing. So it really tests your opponent's judgment, and are they able to focus on their strategy enough to beat me while also trading with my board in clever ways. And it's really a fun dance for me, which is why I love the puffcap decks so much. It's like, do I get to cheese? Do I get to like make you scared of my TEEMO, like my one drop champion? Because it's such an easy unit to remove on the surface, but then I hit you with a purple berry shake and it's like I just cheesed you really hard, and you just spent 3 mana on it between a pokey stick and like, yeah, it's just such a fun like dance that you get to play. And you see I top deck a thermo beam there, so at this point I know if they rally, we're fine. I dropped a CAITLYN in front of this because I know we're pretty much safe, and if I want to be even safer and play around the Absolver, I could, but they don't even have the Kai'Sa leveled because she hasn't been on the board, so we're chilling pretty hard. And then you see I'm gonna thermo beam this Belvethi, and I check how many puff caps there are, and it's like 60 something. So I know this Karina, along with my Ava Achiever, is like very likely to just win me the game. So next turn you see I get them up to, I believe, 69 puff caps. They draw 4 right there. I stress defense the Belvethi just to use one more spell to peddle those puff caps like I did with the thermo, and they're up to 74 puff caps and 27 cards with the doubled Karina. Like it's gonna be killed even if they didn't have Karina. But there you see I do a cool 30 damage, and that feels like the perfect place to end this episode of PuffCaps to Masters. So yeah, sorry about the little interruptions as I was finding the matches. I appreciate y'all's patience as we sat through those, but I hope it was worth it. Like I said, you can see all my games if you want to find them in my Runeterra AR. I can link my Smurf account in the description below to see how I was doing. I just wanted to be very clear that the only deck I played on this road to Masters was PuffCaps, because I don't want it to be like, oh, he's just showing you the games where he wins with PuffCaps and then he's playing meta decks in between. No guys, I have it all documented on my Runeterra AR. You can look there. I promise, you know, this is just PuffCaps. I don't know how I got to Diamond 1 in 2 days from Plat 4, but I did play like 60 games, so I guess it makes sense. And yeah, if y'all have any questions on how to play PuffCaps, hit me up. You can find me on Twitch most days. You can find me in my Discord, on my Twitter, anywhere you want. I try to make myself a resource to y'all. And look forward to episode 3 of PuffCaps to Masters, where we'll be going from Diamond 4. I'll probably get you up to Diamond 2 by then, just so I can farm the content, you know. I don't want to rush it too much. But I appreciate everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe, because that helps these videos go a lot further. And that is, you know, I'm just trying to build this channel up because I'm under 1,000 subs right now, and I just like to my Twitch is going pretty well, and you know, let's cross-pollinate those. So I appreciate all the help I can get there. And until I see you next time, remember, I'm not responsible for your LP, and goodbye.